Hello and welcome back to the Sacred Light Collective podcast. You are with Ali. Thank you again for joining me for another episode. In this week's episode, I am sharing my reflections of the post Virgo new moon and equinox energies, these energies that feel like are present here for us through September and even into October. And, what's been coming through for me and what I've been seeing and feeling in the collective and coming through on my sessions as well, because there's been lots of similar themes. And it was interesting with the placement of this Virgo new moon and then the equinox energies, because I really saw and felt a lot of clearing and closing out of old cycles and patterns under that new moon, and a lot of triggers. You might have been feeling triggered a lot more, expanded a lot more, with old thoughts coming up or old patterns. And, for me, actually, there was even a lot of physical pain in the body from like old injuries that was coming up and that I was feeling. And I could feel the energy of that. Like it was so different to recognizing that it was not a present pain. There was a lot of, just discomfort in different parts of the body that I haven't felt for a really long time. And so it was interesting to kind of sit with that, to sit and meet those parts of myself and to really see what was that coming up in relation to a cycle or a pattern, or what was coming through in the thought processes, in the my awareness or my external environment as well, that was drawing me within. And I saw that coming through a lot, actually, through the collective as well. This real opportunity to see where we wanted to actually step off the merry-go-round with some of the, as I said, old thoughts, patterns, pain, programming, to allow us to meet those parts of ourselves more deeply, and to really choose to allow what we wanted to release, or that was ready to be released, in favor of who we are choosing to be now and who we're choosing to become, and who we are in our highest, truest version of ourselves. I personally found myself in many moments of talking to my inner child and my inner self, almost coming at it from a parent. Like, it was a really stern talking to myself sometimes, of just, I'm not accepting that anymore. I'm not willing to keep creating that or existing in that pattern or cycle. And particularly around the self-sabotage of the fear in showing up, in being seen, in sharing my voice. And it was like, I really don't want to face that anymore. I really don't want to be in that anymore. That's not the easeful, free-flowing, trust, surrendered, self-belief, confident version of me that I'm choosing to become. And it was really interesting that sometimes that was all it needed, was in the power of actually claiming that, like, I'm not accepting that. I'm stepping off the merry-go-round, and I'm choosing to close the door on that now. And I noticed that a lot with interesting age. Age 16 was coming up a lot for me. And I just love how this always shows up too. A lot of my sessions in the last couple of weeks, we have been working with our 16-year-old selves. Maybe it's not a coincidence for me personally, because my daughter is 16. And so I have really found, as she's reached different points in her journey and in her life, or ages in her life, I've really noticed how that has been a beautiful opportunity to reflect back to my own inner child. And so if you're a parent, or you have connection to children in any way, use them as a beautiful reflective mirror, because it is really interesting to observe what comes up for us that we may not even be consciously aware of, but is being, as I said, triggered or expanded through us in that way. So that was a really kind of intense new moon period for me, and for those, I think, a lot of us in the collective, because we were really given this opportunity to dig deep. And it was, I feel, I feel rewarded as we've moved through and into now the equinox energies, because here in the southern hemisphere it is the spring equinox, and that is the vibe I've been getting, is spring cleaning, decluttering, like what needs to go, let it go. And even if that is not you where you're listening from and you're in the fall equinox, it is still for me, when I think of the energy of fall or autumn, it is very much about the letting go. It's the leaves falling from the trees, isn't it? It's that change of the seasons. It's the shift into the more inward, reflective period. So I'm choosing just to broadly tap into equinox, because I feel like no matter where you are in the world, the energy of that is still coming through for me collectively in the same way. And so how beautiful that as we've come through all of this, and we're seeing the old cycles and the patterns, the thoughts or the pain or whatever it might be coming up through that Virgo new moon. And then we're moving into these equinox energies, which is saying, okay, what needs to go? Let's clear, let's strip this away. Like there's more of the old layers that are really being able to be peeled away now, because the equinox energies is really calling, in my take on this, in what I'm feeling and moving through, in what I'm feeling for the collective space that I'm working in here, my beautiful dear friends in the Sacred Light Collective, this is to reveal more of your true nature, more of your authentic self, to become more embodied in truth, in authenticity, to be more of the highest version of you, the whole version of you, the whole complete self. And the energy's been really feeling, I've been feeling into the energy as very receptive. I have felt myself almost taking a back seat, if you like, and just being asked to be receptive and allowing the time to slow down, to create more space and stillness, to just receive and to be in tune and in flow with self. Because there's not a lot of work, quote unquote, that needs to happen. As I've been speaking about with you in the last few episodes, we've done a lot of the heavy lifting, we've done a lot of the work, and now we're moving into this more we're moving into this energy of where we can now just allow that to move through, to be transmuted, to let go through the mind, to let go of the attachment that we have to it. And so what I feel like this energy of receptivity is also bringing us through the equinox is by saying, it's okay to just bring it into the awareness and to allow it to be let go, to be transmuted, to be completed, by just bringing it into your awareness, by just being with it, holding it, feeling it, breathing, and then connecting to nature. So receptivity and connecting to nature, to Gaia, and receiving the support and the nourishment from Gaia to help close this out, to kind of seal this for us, to receive the support and the nourishment for our bodies as we have clearing and stripping away this old. It's really the rebirth vibes are coming through. It almost feels like new skin. The snake shedding its skin. It feels like we just are allowing the layer to go, it might feel like you're going through 100 mini death and rebirth cycles, but they are accelerated. And that is what I'm noticing, is that there's less of the contraction that we've been speaking about in past episodes, and it's now like moving quite seamlessly. So allowing ourselves to be in this vulnerable state of rebirth, of the new skin, to be in the softness and the gentleness as this occurs, and allowing yourself to lean into Gaia, to get out into nature, to allow the support through the nervous system, to really ensure that we are regulating the nervous system, the body, staying calm, to embody this deeper transformation. And it can feel like you're not doing enough. It can feel like not enough is happening. It can feel like time is standing still somewhat. And I just want to reassure you that that's okay. Everything is okay. You are exactly where you need to be. I've been wrestling with this myself, and the messaging, the downloads that keep coming through is that that is part of the old way of being, of having the expectation, of the needing to do. And we are really resetting that balance, that harmonizing through our being and our doing into that more clear receptivity. And that can bring up some challenging feelings and thoughts. It can feel like I've done this so many times. Why is this coming up again? But let me tell you, there is so much power if you can sit with what is coming through now, even if it feels like this is the 100th time that you've been with the energy of whatever it is. You're not in the same place as where you have been before. And the depth with which you can tap into, the energy of this Virgo new moon and equinox energies, and the flow that is coming through, the abundance that is coming through, the ease that is coming through, the accelerated expansion and growth that is available. You will make bigger shifts through this. You will move these and close these cycles out, and you will be creating space for the new. Bringing in through perhaps October, November, depending on where you are and where this is receiving you, and allowing that to open up and to create the new. And I will share with you that, it's been challenging for me to kind of get my head around this, to get my mind around this, because there is such an unknown in the energetic space for me right now, when I really feel like I'm in this pause, I'm in the rebirth, the new skin, this vulnerability, but I'm not yet sure of the next step. I haven't seen the next step or felt the next step, but I'm just allowing myself to sit in this energy because I'm waiting for the signal to go. And again, it's this new opportunity to relate to receiving, to relate to the inner wisdom, your intuition, your download, your guidance, whatever you want to call it, that is signaling the time to move. It's signaling the time for the next step, versus the mind or the ego that wants us to keep moving, or like, okay, we're ready, we're done. Where's the next thing? There's an opportunity here for us to sit in this energy, to just receive this energy, to feel calm, to feel safe, to feel supported in this deeper surrender, in this deeper ease and flow. And some days, I'll be honest, I'm doing that better than other days. But there's also this flicker of excitement, this flicker of magic, of energy, of like, I don't know what's coming, and how exciting is that? What comes to mind as I say that, it's like when you're a kid waking up on Christmas morning, or even, if you have kids now, the excitement that they have about Christmas and waking up on Christmas morning, the unknown and the excitement and the magic, all of the feels around that's kind of what is building for us now. And in building that excitement, you're also assisting your nervous system and your mind, your ego, your subconscious, to recognize that unknown and that change and that magic, the possibilities can actually feel really good in the body. It can feel really balanced. It can feel harmonious and calm. We don't have to be triggered. We can sit in this space of waiting, and waiting patiently, which again is another challenging element for many of us, but me particularly. But waiting patiently for the next sign, the next signal to go, the next signal to go. To allow yourself to just be in tune and in flow with yourself, And using, as I said, nature, Gaia to support you in that. I mean, nature and Gaia herself are the epitome of the ebb and the flow, the surrender, the trust, the cycles. And, as I spoke about at the start, utilizing the spring equinox or the fall equinox, depending on where you are, like observing the energy of that, of nature and the reflection of that for us, and coming into more in tune. That's the words that keep coming. It's like coming in tune with yourself, becoming in tune with yourself, becoming in tune with nature. And it's almost like we're adjusting that dial and that frequency, because as you clear out the old, you close out the old, you strip away the layers that have been, hiding you away, keeping you small, dimming your light. And a lot of this, my friends, a lot of this I'm hearing now from our guides is in relation to how we see ourselves and how we feel about ourselves. A lot of this doesn't even have to do anything with the external environment right now. This is a lot about our relationship with ourselves and how we see ourselves. And the stripping away of the old layers to reveal more of our true nature, our authentic self, our highest self, our whole complete self, is for us to receive first and foremost. It's for us to recognize, to become in tune with, and to embody that. Then that is going to flow out and reflect in our external world. So here I really feel, as I'm speaking into this with you now, I'm really feeling that this spring clean, this declutter, the clearing and stripping away of the layers is really for you. First and foremost, it is for you to receive yourself more deeply, to see and feel yourself more deeply, to know, to love, to embrace yourself more deeply, and to recognize, to remember, or to awaken to that the wholeness that you are. The irony, isn't it, that in stripping away the layers, you're actually coming into more remembrance and recognition of your whole self, like that's all yourself that's always been there. The layers have contributed to this sense of disconnection or brokenness or a separateness. And so as the layers come away, it allows you to feel more into that whole, true, authentic self, thereby allowing you to embody that with more ease, with more flow, more belief, more confidence and trust. And then that creates the external experience. Then it allows you to create the external experience from this place of more wholeness, where we can choose with more ease what we will and won't accept, or what we know is truth, what we know is fear, what we know is love. This is just such a beautiful time to really deeply remember who you are. And it's just really landing for me right now, just how deeply I am coming into in tune, becoming in tune, quote unquote, with myself. Every time I move down more deeply through my inner spiral. And we are all doing that. It doesn't matter where you are on your inner spiral, because there are many that are just coming into awareness of this. They're just awakening to this concept and to themselves. And there are many of us, there'll be people that are further along than I am. We're all at different stages, but we are always, always, always coming into this opportunity to connect more deeply to our true nature, to become in tune with our true nature, our authentic self, deep within our hearts. And I'm really feeling this in my heart right now, and I'd really love to share just a small transmission with you here. Our guides would really like to just have ourselves connect into our heart space, to connect into with a spiral energy. They're showing me like a golden spiral just whirling, swirling, winding its way in more deeply to the center of our being. Roham diki ero kushumuteki ero ham kia. Nipo aluku toku uyamuya ero umma. Zero uyamataki ero yamataki yana. Allowing yourself to drop down to a really miniature size, to see yourself stepping foot on this golden spiral path, almost as if you're walking the yellow brick road, the inner spiral to your heart. Okamotaki shandriyata. Kamotaki isandriya uyamataka isarokoma. Nge uyamutaki inda. La hoya nanana yarokamata. Allowing yourself to walk in more deeply, to walk maybe a full spiral in. Maybe it's a half, maybe it's a couple of steps, but allow yourself just to step a little further in on the inner spiral pathway. Gato shamti sura muta seru ya muti saro ki muta ishuyanara. Awakening to yourself more deeply. Akuya mutaki isha. Lau yo matatiki inna. Ngepoya tuku ya mataki isaretu. Gato shimoyana. Lebotaki oro manira. And taking a moment to bring into your awareness a thought, a pattern, a cycle, something that you are ready to close, to step away from. No kieta tiki oshome taki ro ma yaroku yamotaki shandriyata. Bringing it into the palms of your hands. Okataki shumatake ro yamataka aroya. As the light within your heart space, the light of your highest self, your sovereign divinity, spirals upward now to meet you where you are on the inner path. Noera tokuya shamataraya tokuyana. Taking from your hands the pattern, the thought, the cycle, and transforming it, alchemizing into the light of you. It like bursts into these gold and glitter sparkles. As it transforms, immediately it alchemizes, it transmutes into this frequency of you. And our guides are saying it is simple as that. Feel the difference in your heart now. Feel the lightness, the openness, the ease or freedom. And now the expansion, as you have transmuted and alchemized, creating more space for more of your light to shine, allowing it to shine through the front and the back, revealing more of your true nature, your sovereign divinity, your true nature. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. And our guides want me to share with you that it is as simple as that, to use that practice to come into the spiral within you, to meet yourself on that pathway, to connect to the light that is you. And by bringing to the light of your awareness, the thought, the pattern, the cycle, or whatever it is that you are willing and wishing to transform, to transmute, and allow it to be so. And taking a deep breath in and just really feeling that, I can really feel the expansion of our hearts there, and it might feel a little uncomfortable for some of you, and it might feel a little like it's stretching and expanding. It is moving, expanding more deeply than perhaps you felt before. Allow yourself to just sit with this, to sit with the breath. Get outside in nature. If there is sun, get into the sun. Get your feet on the grass. Smell the air. The weather is a little chillier where you are. Just take some breaths in. You don't have to do this for long. It might just be for 5 minutes, but just connect to nature in any small way that you can. And allow Gaia to support the physical body to continue to transmute and alchemize, to continue to support the nervous system, the body. Thank you for joining me for this episode, beautiful souls. It is such a pleasure to connect with you in this way and to connect with you through these energies. It brings me so much joy and so much love and gratitude to my heart. The light, the love, the divinity within me honors the light, the love, the divinity within you. Namaste.